What's going on, YouTube? Fuzzy Wuzzy back here again in the garage, playing with this Lincoln. Part 2 of this series of playing around. So, here's what I did. I got the top piece filled in, ground down, nice flap wheel action, made it look nice. I got that, that's how I welded that in. I started grinding this down, then I thought, hey, that's kind of stupid, because I'm going to end up cutting some of it out to put that in. So I stopped doing that. The bottom was real easy. It's really flat. It's really easy to match up. This, let me move this post. I got this Post Malone here bungee corded in just so I could look at it. Now the top of it looks alright, but if you sight down the car, you can tell that the arch, it doesn't match up quite right. It's close. As simple as this piece is, I think if somebody was really doing this, it would be better if they just hand made their own piece to go in here instead of cutting it out from the other side like I did here. I went as far back as I could till it started to curve, but up there I got into the curve a little bit. You know, I cut it long, so this is the end I cut from. But still, I don't think it looks quite right. I think if that was permanent, and that's the way you had to go, you could get away with it. That helps hide some of it. Or helps distract your eyeball. And a little body work in there, a little filler. I think you'd be okay. A good body man, I think, can make that unnoticeable. Anyway, let's get this post back up here. Let me show you what I'm thinking. I got Post Malone here, bungee corded in place, just so I can sit back and eyeball it. Whether or not the proportions look right. That front opening looks pretty damn big to me. But when I go out there and measure my Cadillac, my Coupe de Ville, the front door length is roughly 54 inches. And the back here, from the back window to the door gap, was I think 32 or 34. And this is similar. This is a little shy of 54. This is a little what the fuck is this? This is a little more. These are just rough estimates because, the cars ain't shaped anywhere near the same. So, the tape measure wasn't in the same spot, and yada, yada, yada. It's just kind of a reference thing. So I think my portions are right. Back window opening's only going to be about 18 inches big once we get the old door welded in there. So I think that might look about right. It's kind of what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna keep it right like that. I put a mark on the roof from the center of this post before I cut it out. And it's gonna be roughly right here. So that's about, well, this post still has to lean too. So I got to match the angle, so I think this is going to lean back a little more. Right now it's at 11 inches. I bet total we're going to be about 12 or 13. We're moving this post back. I'm going to get out my grinder, cut out the top, cut out the bottom, cut out the top, tack it in, and I'll bring you back. Alrighty, I got her tacked in there at the bottom, not at the top. Having some fitment issues. To be expected. Bottom's cool. That's fairly easy. Like I said, nice and flat. This top, because of the curvature of the car, it's not really lining up for me. The back of it here, I don't give a shit about this because the door is going to be covering this and then welded on. I don't care about that. I care about this. I might have to pie slice it right here, bend it up so everything lines up, before I do anything that far, like it's fairly solid. It's tacked in there. It ain't really going anywhere. I better stretch that door out and then see what my gap looks like before I start cutting this up anymore. Let me get something set up on the other side of the garage. I got to make some sawhorses because I don't have any. I don't have a welding table. I need a nice big flat surface to work with this door, so let me go do that. I'll bring you back when I'm cutting up the door. Alright, a couple days later, made these handy metal folding sawhorses. I'll put a link in the description to the video that gave me the idea for these. They fold up nice and slim. Works really good when you got no room like me. Anyway, I got my tape on the door. And I've been thinking a bunch about it, where I'm going to cut. I don't want to cut anywhere further that way, because that's where the interior door handle is. I can't really cut much further that way, because that's where the exterior door handle is. I don't really want to disturb the location of either one of those items. So right about here is the best I can come up with. So that's where the power window motor mounts. I ain't trying to screw that up. I'd rather not cut that bracket there for the interior door pull, but that's easy enough to put back together. So that's how I decided where to cut this. And the top of it, man, I'm not sure if this is going to work out because of the problems I'm having over there with the post, you know, that arch that I might have to split. So I'm just going to cut it and see what the fuck happens. I own a welder. If it ain't right, I'll just put it back together. You know, that's all I can do in this experimental phase. Let me get my cutoff wheel and get to cutting. Alrighty, boys and girls, she's split. I had to switch over to the 7-inch grinder to get enough reach to cut through that crash bar in the side there. That just looks like a piece of pipe. Kind of neat. I never seen a door like this before. I never had to split one. Now that it's split, I got to know how much to put in here, the section. So I think I'm going to bolt the front half back on the car, set the rear half up against the post, line it up using the door latch gap, and just take a measurement. That'll tell me exactly how much metal I need to cut out of the other door. Well, we got her put back in place. I just got a bungee cord around the door there, holding it up. Man, it looks cool, man. It's coming along. You can see that this is just very loosely, but you can see that body line there, that's going to be a problem. Deal with that when we get there. We'll get the bottom in place, make sure that these are parallel to each other like it's supposed to be. And then we'll do whatever we have to do up there to make it look right. With a welder and grinder, anything can be manipulated, I think. Anyway, I just got this sitting here. If you look in there, there's the striker bolt. I'm just gonna kind of center it up on there. Then I'll measure that swings. Something I noticed putting this on. See that rust on the door there? It's had interference problems up there already. So that tells me that gap is not going to be right ever, and I cannot use that for any kind of reference. I should have paid attention to that when I took it apart. But it looks like it's been hitting in there already. Something I should have paid attention to. I don't have this door adjusted yet. This gap is still a little screwy on the roof, but whatever. I'm just here for that measurement. It's 12 and 5/8. What I'm looking at here. Yeah. Well, that's all that's left. That little section. She's awfully floppy without the rest of the door. That's what's left of that door. I kind of fucked up a little bit, so I had to move over half an inch and start again, but it's cool. I got it. So this is how I'm doing this. I just got a straight piece of tubing, lightly clamped, to align those guys up. And I could not get this centerpiece to align worth a shit because all of the rust down here separated the outer skin. It separated right there, and it was at a weird angle. I'm like, why the fuck doesn't this line up? And I seen that, so I finished grinding the rest of it away to release this side of it. But that sucks. But what are you gonna do? It's what I'm working with. Ta-da! It's something. That bolt is, the striker plate is just about in the middle of the hole where I wanted it. And looking at the gap inside here between the post and the door, I think we could weld that post in there. I think that's where she's gonna stay. Now, this door did not go together the way I wanted it to. Using shit off the passenger door did not work out as planned. I assumed that the top of the door and the bottom of the door were parallel. Well, they weren't. They're kind of... The front is shorter than the back. So, in the skin here, I had to cut out this wedge shape. Same thing with the inner parts to get the top and the bottom to line up. Man, I struggled with that for a while. I had it tacked together about 2 or 3 different times, had to take it back apart, move everything around. And I finally said, fuck it, let's just cut the skin, and I didn't want to do it, but I had to. So that's another lesson learned. Shit is not as square as I think it is. I should have got another driver's door to use for parts instead of using the other side. Oh well, whatever. This is all a learning experience for me, and that was just another lesson. So I think I'm going to go ahead and weld this post up. That still looks good right there. This doesn't. I'm going to have to figure this out. Maybe cut it, cock it up. Same thing with the post. I just might have to cut the post completely off, weld that in the car, and then just fill in the gap. I don't know. That's for next time. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Thanks for waiting. I know it's been a while. It's probably going to be another while before I post another one. Thanks for watching. Peace. You got any ideas that help me out, sheet metal guys, post them down below. I am quickly figuring out that sheet metal is not my thing. Everything's all flimsy and wobbly and needy and shit. I don't like it. Alright. Peace.